Recording in progress.
Ngifuna ukulontuza kwi-meeting, kwi-committee meeting kodwa visual.
Good morning, honorable members.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning, Chair.
Morning,
Chair.
Mr. Person.
Are we ready to start our meeting? Let me check with I know our committee secretary is on leave. Selina Mkalipi, I'm told, is standing in for her. Selina, are we ready to start?
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, members and staff. Yes, Chair, we are ready to start.
Morning, Selena.
Okay, thanks very much. The meeting is open and you are welcome, honorable members. I also welcome our support staff who are on the platform and everybody who's on this platform, even members of the public. I see Mr. Bandi is here. You are heartily welcome. There is somebody who's Zoom user. Can you identify yourself? Otherwise, we'll remove you from the platform. Zoom user. Who's that one?
Good morning, Chairperson. It's Councillor Frenchman. I don't know if it's me because I'm using Zoom on my phone currently. I don't know if
it's
it me?
you.
Oh,
Can you name
sorry.
it correctly?
Okay, I'll try. I'll try while we're busy.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Frenchman. Thank you. I also see staff from the ministry. You're welcome. And I see staff from political parties. You're also welcome. The meeting is open, honorable members. I don't think we should take a lot of time. Honorable members will remember that we received sad news about the passing on of one of our members, Honorable Buthelezi, who passed on Monday. We received the news on Monday. We know that on Friday we had a portfolio committee meeting and we were communicating with her through WhatsApp. But to our shock, on Monday, we received this bad news. Can we just observe a moment of silence for a short while in honor of her memory? May her soul rest in eternal peace. Thanks very much, honorable members. We're on item 2, apologies. Committee Secretary.
Yes, Chair, we do have one apology. I received one apology from the Deputy Minister of Human Settlement. Only that.
Okay. All right. Although they were not necessarily expected to attend, but it's fine. We note that. We also note the apology of the committee secretary. We are on item 3, consideration and adoption of the agenda. Can I get a mover?
I shall move, Chair.
Honorable Poole moving. Seconder.
I move.
I second, Chair.
Honorable Kekakilwe seconding. Any alternative view? Nothing. We are on item 4, consideration and adoption of the budgetary review and recommendations report. Today we are considering the budgetary review and recommendations report, which is a result of the meeting we held with the department and its entities to look at their annual report, as well as the report by the Auditor General of South Africa. And this is a report that will present to plenary for plenary to debate. In this report, I guess we'll also have recommendations, and where members feel that other things are left out, you are free to include them. I must just apologize to members that you received the draft report late, and it's because of the challenges we continuously face in our office. But we're working on that, and we hope moving forward we'll not experience such an inconvenience to members where you receive a report late and you are expected to engage with the report. You don't even have time to be assisted on that report. But we're working on the matter, and we hope things will improve for the better. Can I request that we present the report? We flight the report to honorable members. I've seen it might, because it arrived late, there's certain things that we will correct as we go on. Portfolio Committee Content Advisor.
Yes, Chair. Good morning, Chair and honorable members. Thank you for the opportunity. And it also would like to apologize profusely for the passing of Honorable Buthelezi. And as the Chair indicated, the purpose and the reason for the BRRR, he has clearly indicated that the BRRR, the purpose is to look at the department and also look at entities and look at their performance, their plans, and therefore approve their budgets. Okay, so honorable members, the process is this, just to make your input to get captured clearly. I will go through the report with the permission of the chair. It's either I will read through the report or take you through the report. And then when it comes to the last part, which is observations and recommendations, I will go through each bullet. Okay, so Chair, with your permission, I think I'll take members through the report. Okay, as a way of introduction, the committee was briefed by the AG and the department of the performance, and then the AG provided a reflection, and that was done on those dates reflected there. As a way of introduction, the human settlement sector or the department operates in a constitutional framework, and this is translated to the Housing Act, and the implementation framework or the strategy is the Breaking New Grounds. And this Breaking New Grounds informs what you call the medium term or strategic framework. So there are particular targets or objectives that the department has over 5 years. And those targets are specific. They are broken down every year. Okay, so with regards to the mandate of the committee, Honorable Chair, is to basically consider legislation that is referred to it, conduct oversight over the department and the entities and all the other organs of state that fall under the portfolio. The following role of the committee is to consider international agreements, and this is also linked to conducting study tours. And what we are doing now is to consider the budget of the department entities that are within the portfolio. So the process that we are under now, which is called the BRRR process, is to consider the budget, provided that the recommendations, the observations and recommendations are plausible. Okay, with regards to the mandate of the department, so in line with the National Development Plan, the department has got a mandate to provide houses, and those houses must be sustainable and they must be of good quality. And the instrument that is used to provide those housing is called the National Housing Code. And honorable members would be aware that the department is in the process of reviewing the Housing Act. And in that, the Housing Act will be reviewed and the Housing Code will be reviewed to the Human Settlements Code. So that has got policy implications moving forward. And also, as I've mentioned, that the National Development Plan outcomes are the cornerstone of the delivery approach in human settlements, and that is covered under outcomes number 8. And that outcomes number 8 covers human settlements targets. Okay, so the objective of the department is also to achieve this trajectory or the roadmap that is provided by the National Development Plan, which is to achieve these sustainable human settlements by 2030. And also it should be considered that this roadmap is towards 2050. Okay, so with regards to specific things, is the development of the master plan for human settlements. This is to direct investment in relation to human settlements. And we know that housing is not just housing anymore. It has to consider all aspects that ensures that human settlements are sustainable, and hence the implementation of catalytic projects. To prioritizing, targeting, and focusing towards upscaling delivery. So in the process of delivering human settlements, there should be upscaling of that delivery using those limited resources that the state or government has got. And in that context of using limited resources, the private sector collaboration and integration is important. And what is of particular importance is the promotion or involvement of women, youth, and people with disabilities in the human settlements development. And perhaps lastly is the issue of upscaling the delivery of informal settlements, because we know that the mushrooming of informal settlements in South Africa is a persisting problem. As the chairperson has eloquently indicated the purpose of the BRRR in his introduction, he had indicated that the BRRR is to look at the plans and achievements of the department and see if these achievements are plausible, and then the honorable members will make recommendations accordingly. With regards to the methodology of the BRRR, so which documents were used to compile this BRRR, or which source information was used? The National Development Plan Vision 2030, the MTSF Framework of Human Settlements, the SONA address, and the reports by the department, and also the reflection or an assessment that was provided by the Auditor General was of a particular importance. So, honorable members, I spoke in length about the NDP and its vision when I was speaking earlier on about the policy of the department. And also I made reference to the 5-year plan of the department, and I'm going to go to those specific targets, which is to especially transform through multi-program integration in priority development areas. So as we know that in South Africa, the issues of spatial transformation, where a majority of Africans were placed in areas where they were far away from cities and they were far away from their work opportunities. So what these MTSF targets are trying to do is to reverse that, and also to provide housing in quality environments and ensure secure of tenure. This means security of land through the title deed system. And then there are specific targets that the department has promised to achieve, and those are indicated there. The delivery of those houses and approved application of 20,000 to benefit from what you call the finance-linked individual subsidy program, what we call now the first home finance program. And then the delivery of 3,000 sites, the delivery of 30,000 social housing units in PPAs. So it means that in rezoned areas. And then the delivery of 12,000 community residential units or rental units. Okay, so I have covered basically what the strategic priority of the department is. So in relation to SONA, the president made a reference to certain things that are in relation to human settlements. The first one was about the environmental awareness, and the president was concerned that the country or Africa is facing global change, and this was evident in the Western Cape. We saw in Knysna and other areas where there were devastating fires, and we saw in KwaZulu-Natal that there were floods, and in the Northern Cape there was a report of unbearable heat wave, and also in the Eastern Cape there were droughts, and in Gauteng there were storms. So the president also referred to the experience of the Tswalo. In her year, she experienced a place or a township that had not had service delivery, and in the reflection of SONA, it indicated that about 1 million of houses were built to shelter the poor, and that in relation to expanded public works. 1.7 million work opportunities or livelihood were created, and that the number of South Africans employed increased from 8 million in 1994 to over 16.7 million. And then also through tax incentives and financial support, the government had more than doubled the amount of rooftop solar capacity installed across the country in just the past year. Why is this solar roof capacity important for human settlements? Human settlements should be seen as sustainable, and also the issue of solar capacity and energy has been a talking point in South Africa, especially dealing with the demand side of energy. So this is important for human settlements. Okay, so also to enable the private sector investment in electricity generation, and this is also important in generating capacity for households and also projects in relation to human settlements. Honorable members, this is the performance of the department. I'm not going to go through it in word by word. And then it is followed by expenditure of the department, and it indicates that the department's total expenditure was 31.2 billion, and it was represented as 98%. And the following covers the expenditure of the grant and also the expenditure of each program, such as the administration and the justification for their under expenditure. Okay, this is also followed by human settlements entity. The way that this is presented is that under the year review, the report presents the highlight or the achievements in entities, and then it goes back down to narrate the specific achievements that the entity has achieved. For instance, in the NHBRC, it says that the overall it was 79% of the targets were achieved, and also it talks about the specific things such as the 50 interns that were approved or employed within the entity. With regards to the NHFC, there were 82 million designated groups and 66 million to majority black owned, so that in relation to transformation fund or transformation initiative of the entity, that is the amount that was dedicated to that. And also it goes on to say that which companies were targeted for BEE, and also the number that were targeted for black-owned, women-owned companies and youth. And then these are the housing opportunities that were created. And then the Social Housing Regulatory Authority, it achieved the clean audit, and also those are the rental or housing that were achieved, and it indicates the job opportunities that were created through project implementation, and also the number of accredited institution that was achieved, and also the use of that consolidated capital grant, which increased from 769.5 million to that amount. Okay, so with regards to the Housing Development Agency, it received an unqualified audit opinion, and it achieved the turnaround strategy. And the honorable members will remember that in the legacy report, the issue of governance was flagged in the report, and this turnaround strategy was important for the HDA. And then also performance on predetermined objective improved from 74% to 91%. And then that number of land was acquired for human settlements, and also what is critical is also that the land was also rezoned for the development of human settlements. They've also appointed a chairperson of the board, and this has got implication towards the stability of the entity and governance. And then they go on to say that they have reduced, they've appointed a special management committee to deal with fruitless and wasteful expenditure and all the other things that the AG has flagged. Okay, with regards to property practitioners regulatory authority, the entity established a significant partnership with the private and public sector to drive innovation in property industry. So this collaboration was also with ESCOM, and also they go on to specify their achievements, and also with regards to the research center, they indicated that they have experienced growth with regards to capacity, and also they are collaborating with the National Research Foundation to do their research. Okay, so the community scheme ombud service. Sorry about that. So their overall performance was reflected at 83%, and also they have ensured that 2,570 community schemes were registered with the entity, and about 15,587 disputes were received, and 8,720 were resolved, and then the detailed information follows. Okay, so with regards to the reflection by the AG, it indicates here that the committee was briefed by the AG at that particular date on the performance of the department. The AG made a couple of observations in relation to the department and entities, and in relation to provincial departments, and they reflected on the Mpumalanga Free State, and they also reflected on the unqualified audit opinion findings on the Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Limpopo, Gauteng, and so on and so forth. They made these recommendations, and these recommendations are mainly to suggest that the planning in the human settlement sector should be aligned. The objectives from national to province should be customized to ensure that, and also to ensure that planning is uniform. And then the committee should ensure continuous oversight on the issues that the AG has flagged. And perhaps of importance is the issue of adequate consequence management in all aspects of non-compliance, especially with legislation, and also in the lack of accountability. So, honorable members, that is a brief summary of the content of the report. Now I am going to take you through the observations and the recommendations. as the chair has indicated. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to go through each and every recommendation with the guidance of the chairperson. If there are additional information, I will write them here in the text, like this. And then honorable members will correct me, and then we'll be able to adopt that report. Okay. With regards to the first observation, the committee was concerned about irregular expenditure in provinces, especially in KZN. The recommendation ensure that all provincial departments adhere to supply chain management, ensure education and training of relevant staff, ensure consequence management in cases where SCM is contravened. Chair.
No, go through them.
Okay,
Yeah,
Chair.
yeah.
Okay, Chair. Okay, the second observation, the committee was concerned about non-compliance by NHFC and PPRA. Furthermore, that PPRA board determined their remuneration without the approval of the minister. The backlog in payment of service providers by the PPRA was a concern. This was also an indication of lack of enforcement of compliance. The PPRA only achieved 66.6% of its targets, that the HDA had done enough to recover funds lost through fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Okay, recommendation: ensure the concurrence of the minister in determining and approving remunerations of board members in all human settlements entities. Ensure compliance enforcement at the PPRA and pay service providers within the stipulated time. Ensure improve performance within the PPRA entities in collaboration with the department. Should put in place strategies to mitigate fruitless and wasteful expenditure. The following observation, that there were several performance red flags or poor performance identified in the legacy report of the 6th Parliament. The committee, to ensure that these red flags were not repeated. Recommendation: ensure that issues identified in the legacy report of the 6th administration are adequately analyzed and addressed. Provide a report to the committee within 2 months of the adoption of this report. The following observation, noted with concern that Eastern Cape, Northwest, Limpopo, Western Cape, North So, and then Western Cape had received qualified audit opinion. Recommendation: ensure that all provincial departments do not receive qualified audit opinion. Provide necessary support to ensure that all provincial departments do not repeatedly get qualified audit opinion. That department should develop a strategy to assist provinces with repeat findings on audit outcomes.
We've lost you, Sabelo. Are you still there? Selina, can you call him? Check with him. I suspect it's a network problem.
I will do so, Chair. Both his cell numbers, Chair, are offline.
Okay.
Chairperson,
Honorable-
Casey, I'll
Yes,
try to get
Casey.
hold of him quickly.
Okay. Honorable Khaikile.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, honorable members and the officials. Chairperson, while we do not have this person, I will propose that we engage the report because time is not on our side. By 12 o'clock or 12:30, we will be on our way to the parliament. Or unless there is somebody who can finalize because there is only remaining few pages. Thank you.
Yeah, let's hear. Okay.
I'm trying to flat this report, Chair, on my side.
All right.
Chairperson,
Yes.
it's Casey here. Sabelo got kicked out of the meeting, so I think the system crashed there, so he's trying to reconnect, sir.
Yeah. Can you continue? Can you stand in for him? Just go through the report. We are on a observation. Yeah, that's where we are.
We were on
Yeah,
observation and recommendation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on the just below the issues on the legacy report, just after that.
Yeah, go down a bit. Go down again. Yeah, there. Go
Yeah.
up a bit. Go up a bit. Yeah, I think that's where we are, honorable members. That observations were concerned about the quality of spending on housing projects, grants, and programs. And the recommendation is to ensure appropriate monitoring and evaluation instruments ensure the funds are spent appropriately, that there's a need for more coordination from the other spheres of departments to ensure in monitoring and evaluation. Another observation is that not much is done to protect whistleblowers in the human settlement sector, ensure the problem of whistleblowers in the sector. That sentence is not complete. Can you go back again? Ensure the protection of whistleblowers in the sector, right? Another observation is the centralization of the emergency housing program. However, there was a need for this program to be flexible enough to address unforeseen situations. Ensure that the emergency housing program is flexible to cater for different emergency situations in provinces. Another observation that the department had a slower pace in solving the discrepancies in the housing needs register and the HSS, misalignment between the HNR and HSS is indicating lack of government integration regarding the allocation of houses. Ensure that discrepancies between HNR and the HSS is resolved. Ensure intergovernmental relations in the human settlement sector. Observation that the Free State Province, there were contractors who were faced with the following project management issues: poor project management, contractual clauses, contractual delays, and lack of focused spending of funds. Assist the Free State Province with all aspects of project management. That CISOs should pay their debtors. There was a problem with revenue collection, irregular expenditure, no consequent management, fruitless and wasteful expenditure of 24 million, irregular expenditure of 522 million in the NHBRC. Recommendation that in future ensure that they pay their debtors, improve revenue collection and prevent irregular expenditure, ensure consequence management and prevent irregular expenditure. Next observation, with concern the collapse of building in George, Western Cape. In addition, the committee was concerned about poor performance of the Western Cape province. Recommendations: provide a report to the committee on the collapse of the building to the committee within 2 weeks. Furthermore, a comprehensive report on the Western Cape performance report should comply and presented to the committee within 2 months. Next one. Observation that the process of transformation was both slow and limited when it comes to black business. This is particularly evident in the construction industry, I guess. Recommendations: human settlements entities should use their transformative funds to empower black businesses. Another observation that PPR has not done enough to uplift the previously disadvantaged persons and military veterans. Recommendation: work with the Department of Military Veterans to provide their appropriate housing and ensure their access to the 40% set aside. Ensure the involvement of women, youth, and people with disabilities in housing projects. Conclusion: it is the submission of the committee that the implementation of these recommendations would possibly respond to the objectives of the department and entities, the NDP, and the lives of the people. Recurring challenges observed would be resolved as swiftly as possible if accountability regarding these recommendations could be forthcoming from all entities within the sector. To ensure the realization of these objectives at specified timeframes, the committee will conduct its oversight on specified intervals. In addition, Parliament should track the implementation of these recommendations by the executive. I'm not sure whether Sabelo is back. I don't see him. He's not back.
Not yet.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a network issue in his area currently, Chair. We've tried to call him. We've called him, but he can't log on because there's a network issue.
Okay, let's go to the beginning of the report, just for members to check on the content before we go to specific recommendations. Start at the beginning of the report. Item 1, members, anything? Let's go.
I've raised my hand.
Okay.
Chairperson, I'm just concerned about this report. This is a poor quality report. And it was a deliberate move that we receive it late so that we don't go through it as expected. But I'm just going to indicate what I've observed. For page 1, paragraph, second line, my department, they must add as before or after the apostrophe by or there are so many spelling errors. And then I don't know whether I can say whatever that I've observed and then other members will add, or we'll go page by page, Chair.
Raise your observation.
Okay. And then more under the objectives, bullet number 5, the youth is appearing twice. They must delete one youth there. And then on page 8, bullet number 7, they are saying something about the turnaround. if they can indicate if the turnaround was long or what. But they've just written turnaround time. And then page 11, 8.1, line 3. I don't know whether they wanted to write 100%, but they've written 1005. If that thing can be corrected under the consumer protection, I don't know it's 100% or it's what. And then AG's reflection, line 8. I don't understand what they mean. The year then ended. If that sentence can be rephrased, or full stop, and then they continue. And then when it comes to the last bullet on that AG's reflection, I don't understand why they wrote adequate consequence management, no adequate consequence management. They must delete the adequate. Consequence management is not implemented.
Okay.
And then
you are recording, eh? Selina and Casey. I guess you are recording. Yeah.
And then on page 18. Page 18. I think the issue here, the non-approval of the board remuneration by the minister, it was clarified, but it is still reflecting here, if it can be corrected. And then go page 18 again under the recommendation, line number 5, the spelling of the department. This is a very poor quality report, and I am not sure of the processes, but Chair, I expect that the DG could have gone through this report to assist us as a committee, because this is going to to the parliament, and it's going to put as if Rona, we don't understand our story. And with regard to all these observations, the writer must go and listen to the recordings and write whatever that we observed and our recommendations. They've just decided to write what they wanted there. And they were very selective. There is nothing about the department, and the key major things which were discussed about the entities are not recorded in this report. That is why I am saying it was intentional to bring the report late so that we don't go through it. But this is a bad reflection on us as a committee. That is all that I wanted to say, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mpiti.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and a very good morning to honorable members as well as the staff that is also here. Chair, in all honesty, I must agree with Betty, Honorable Betty. I honestly think this is a very bad quality report. Besides the fact that we received it late, there's a lot of grammatical errors, and I don't mind to just take you through them. But in the main, what I wanted to say, I think there's definitely something we need to look at in terms of the type of reports that we are working on and the type of report we want to send to Parliament. I mean, we cannot, Chair, be sending reports with grammatical errors, language that's not clear. If you go to page 6, for example, and on page 6, you'll see there, for example, the sentence that begins with, even though the department, it's literally the second last paragraph. If you can see it there, it's the sentence that begins with, even though the department being unable to reach our target. I mean, that doesn't make sense at all. And so just an example of some things that really need to be looked at. Page 16, again, it's PRA instead of CSOS. Again, it's a major mistake there. So yeah, I just wanted to make that point. But Chair, I'm not sure if you'd like me to just go through my amendments now or at what stage, but I can do that now if that's possible.
Please do now, Honorable Mpiti. They will record.
Okay, thank you so much. So I've already noted page 6 and page 16. So I'll move on from there and go to page 20. And that is around the the Emergency Housing Fund. Just to say that on that particular page, the input that was given there was around not only the centralization of the budget, but also the devolvement of the budget to municipalities that work. And also a note was made by myself there to note and flag the underspending of that particular budget. So just that for that to be included there. Still on page 20, in regards to the George building, the point or the input that was made in that regard was around, how many inspections were done by the NHBRC towards the building. And I think colleagues will remember that they did respond to that particular point. And the minister did also undertake to give a report. So just to add that particular point. And then I would like to move on to the next observation around the NHFC. Just to say that in the inclusion of that observation, what was also noted was the quality of performance reports. And this was not necessarily only the NHFC, but other entities as well, where the AG had noted that the poor quality of reports was an impediment to the audit process on their side. So that for that to also be included. Then the next one is, it's not an observation that is included on this report, but it was a point that I raised, which was relating to the strategy around block projects. And there was to really say that the department needs to be mindful of that new strategy and how it is implemented on the ground, particularly with projects that we were able to see and projects across the country. So the note was made on the issue of the strategy, so that to be included. And then the next thing was the undertaking by the NHBRC, as well as the minister on the lifestyle audits, which I had asked for, particularly for housing inspectors. And we were informed in the meeting that that would be concluded at the end of the month. And there was an undertaking for that report to then be made available to the portfolio committee, so that to please be included as well. The next one, again, is not noted on the observations, but it relates to the CEO of BRRR and the undertaking that the minister gave the committee to say that once she has been able to deal with the CCMA process, she will make an undertaking to come back to clarify the matter of the CEO and the CFO of BRRR. And then again, in regards to the NHFC, the minister had also undertaken to report back to the portfolio committee around the issues relating to the NHFC. I see that was not also noted on this particular report, but she did undertake that she would come back and take the committee into her confidence around that particular issue. And then staying on the same point, I had raised this issue around the concern on the value of disbursements in regards to the NHFC, and that was flagged as an area of concern for me, particularly in regards to the disbursements that the NHFC does. And then in regards to the whistleblowers, I just feel, and I agree with you, Chair, that I think that last line is a bit, it's just missing what the intention was. And in essence was to say, as I was the one who raised it, that there must be a commitment from the department to ensure that whistleblowers that do come forward are protected, and that there must be a commitment from the department to ensure that there are means and measures to protect whistleblowers that do come forward in this particular sector. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much, Honorable Ditebe.
Thank you very much,
I take
Chairperson.
you are taking notes so that we don't experience the same thing again. I'm referring to our support staff. Honorable Ditebe.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I agree with Honorable Khakile. The issue of syntax, grammar, punctuation, all of that must be dealt with. Chairperson, you will remember that at the very beginning, when I joined this portfolio committee, I made a similar observation when the content advisor was taking us through as part of the orientation, of course. And the advice we gave him was that, there's software available. If you are unable to edit, proofread, edit a document yourself, in even a very, very basic entry level of such, like your Grammarly, ChatGPT is the latest, but you can stay with Grammarly and still attain your goal of kinning a document, so that the sort of mistakes that both Honorable Mpiti and Honorable Khakile observed are not repeated. But I guess, Chair, it's got to do with the psychological state of the person who helps us to do the work that we do. This is a content advisor and somebody who should be very passionate about their work. I heard you mention the presence of his immediate supervisor. I don't want to go into this in detail, but I hope that his supervisor is indeed taking note of that. Remember that some of us participate in other portfolio committees as well. And, it's been nothing short of utter satisfaction on the part of some of us dealing with the BRRR in other committees, and we expected the same here. So that is a matter of great concern to us. So if we take care of that, like the mistake of, if you want to refer, say, to PDIs and then you put an apostrophe after the D, when in fact you are referring to PDIs in plural terms, not in a possessive term, in possessive terms. These kinds of mistakes, I think, should be corrected. And I think we've given him the way forward. We hope that Selina is noting these things so that when the content advisor comes back, then he can deal with those. Chairperson, I think there are quite a number of areas of recommendation that I think one needs to look at, and I'll make a written submission on those specific recommendations that I think should be added there. That is, if those that are already there have not taken into account what we said before. For example, Chair, you will remember that we undertook to support the PPRA in its litigation against those in the industry who are litigating against Section 63, subsection 1 of the PPA Act of 2019, which speaks to undesirable practices. But we understood, as was presented by PPRA at the time, that those undesirable practices may very well be used as artificial barriers by those that have long been in the industry to stymie and frustrate transformation. So under recommendations, I think we must have it included that the PC notes litigation against Section 63, Sub 1 of the PPA Act of 2019 that governs activities of the PPRA to outlaw undesirable practices and ensure transformation of the sector overall. And that the portfolio committee supports the PPRA in challenging this. And as I've already said, in line with what the Constitution says, to heal divisions of the past and build a society or create a society that is based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. I deliberately quote the Constitution because everything in our legislation which is not in line with the prescripts of the Constitution then becomes unconstitutional. So even in this respect, I want to argue that we anchor it or premise that argument on that part of the Constitution, which is the preamble. As far as the disbursements at the NHFC, I remember specifically that the chairperson explained that there was a sponsorship of 180,000 rand plus to the chairperson or whatever of SAWIC, this being an organization representing women in construction. So chairperson, this does not suggest that if there is anything that is not in line with the Public Audit Act or the PFMA, etc., or whatever other edicts that govern the boards, etc., or similar entities of the department, we should not raise our concerns. But where clarity has been sought and was indeed made available, we should reciprocate and clothe our interventions as far as recommendations are concerned, clothe those in proper context, given the fact that we were given answers after having put questions to those that presented before us. So having said that, Chairperson, I'd like to just perhaps mention a few things here. Others I will submit to the Secretary. This relates to the issue of the blocking of blocked projects, it being a decision of MINMAC, and that the department should submit a comprehensive report detailing the implementation of this MINMAC decision, which report must outline the progress and challenges faced by the sector, along with the action plan to tackle those challenges to the portfolio committee, that is the report in question, within 3 months of the adoption of the BRRR. We have obviously also referred to or received a report from the department with regards to the digitization of HSS, and this obviously refers to relates to the work that the department seeks to do in that respect, where possibly they could enlist the role of the State Information Technology Agency, alternate or seek the approval of National Treasury for a deviation to achieve that objective. Of importance here, Chairperson, is that the committee wants this finalized as soon as possible within the timelines that the department had set itself. You will remember we were, I think, in S36 when the department said that. So land, bulk, water, and sanitation infrastructure to allow for BNG projects. That is important for us to note as well. So we should recommend that this should be in close collaboration with the Department of Water and Sanitation to ensure that government realizes its constitutional obligations as provided for in the Constitution, not only in Section 26, but in Section 27 as well. Chairperson, I thought I should make those points, but of importance is that we are dealing with this report at a time, when we've just received the report, and as members have observed, the quality is less than satisfactory of the report, that is the BRRR. And the unfortunate thing is that it reflects not only on you, but on all of us. But we must be with you when you make a recommendation to the administration of Parliament with regards to the quality of work that we get from the person assigned to us to help us with this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Frenchman.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all my leaders and officials. Chairperson, for me, this report doesn't reflect the committee's real concerns that were raised. And also the committee members didn't provide written recommendations. Or even in the meetings, we only asked questions. We need the opportunity to submit our recommendations and also investigations that we would like to have done by the ministry. And then I don't see, like, our oversight visit to KZN, as well as our concerns raised there, should have been reported on. That is vital. And also the feedback that we received from those officials in KZN should also have been reported on. And also, if the committee has challenges in providing us with quality reports, then this should have been addressed. This should be addressed right now as a matter of urgency, because as a committee, we literally look incompetent right now. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Frenchman. Just to say, there will be a separate report on our oversight visit, which must contain all what you are saying, but it will be a separate report from this one, which must come to committee again. Committee agrees with it, and then we take it to Parliament. But your concerns are noted. Sorry for that. Honorable Abada.
Good morning, Chair, and all my fellow colleagues and everybody else. Very disappointed this morning in this report. Whatever I'm going to say is going to be everything that everybody else has already said. So just a few things to bring to the attention is, and it's the same things that everybody's spoken about, is the underspending, the shortfalls in the department, audit outcomes. So I don't know, it's for me, if help was needed, then I feel that we should have been consulted. And we are a committee, and we promise to work together and assist one another in making human settlements the best committee. I think we all agree to that. And so this report going forward is, I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. Again, coming back to what everybody else said, we received the report late. In order to go through the entire report was impossible. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how we're going to go forward with this, because we can't adopt this bill, this report. My concerns also, in terms of the emergency housing program facility, flexibility. What else do I have here? Slow transformation. Let me just read a few things quickly. Maybe that will make a little bit more sense. So the department's inability to meet its housing delivery goals raises concerns about its capacity to achieve its intended outcomes. Several provinces continue to receive unqualified audit opinions indicating unresolved issues with financial management and compliance. Persistent, irregular, and wasteful expenditure across entities suggests systemic problems that are not adequately addressed by current policies. You know what? I just feel like we can go on and on here, but I'm just not happy with it. So that's my take on it.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Apada.
Pleasure.
Okay, Honorable Poole.
Morning, Chair. Morning, honorable members. I feel the same as the previous members. Really disappointed this morning. The report is only showcase the highlights of the entities and not the struggle points within the entities and how can we turn it around. That is very disturbing. I was covered with all my complaints in my head by the previous speakers, but at least let on to what Member Sabada said is that it's disturbing that nothing is said, that we don't achieve our own amended targets as a department and did not achieve that. And that is something that must bother everybody, every member on this committee. And nothing is indicate to that as a problem. And then, of course, we have to take note of the lack of consequence management. That was a major problem in almost 4 entities within the department, and nothing is recommended in this particular report for that matter. Note the poor performance of some of the entities, department in appointment of contractors. And then, of course, I have a clarity or seeking question under the observation. Noted with concern that the Eastern Cape, Northern West, Limpopo, Western Cape, and Northwest had repeatedly received qualified audit opinions, recommendation, ensure that all provincial departments do not receive qualified audit opinions, provide necessary support to ensure that all provincial departments do not repeatedly get qualified. Is that true or false? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Poole, and thank you very much, honorable members. I think like everybody has observed, if you go to 8.3, scroll to 8.3, lower your hands, honorable members, so that I can see if it's a new hand.
Page 8, Chair.
Item 8.3.
Okay.
No, up there. Okay, maybe before that, Honorable Gamede, I see your hand. Yeah. Honorable Gamede. Okay. You see, under 8.3, we're talking about SHRA.
I'm sorry, I'm here, Chair.
Okay. Maybe talk before I say what I want to say.
Okay, thanks, Chair. No, mine is not too long. It's just to put an emphasis on what my fellow colleagues have already stated about the report. Is completely, for me, it's completely wrong. I was looking at 8.3. on SRA. On the heading, you'll find that we are talking about SRA, but underneath, we are now talking about NHFC. Then on 8.6, again, where we are talking about CSOC, the heading will be CSOC, but you will find that underneath, during the period under review, the PPRA now achieved so and so. So for me, there is a lot, like my fellow colleagues have already stated before me. There is a lot. If you look at it, it's completely wrong. And for me, it's unfair for us to engage on a report such as this. I submit for now, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe I'm unfair, but let me just check with Honorable, let me check with Mr. Bandi. Do we still have time to deal with the report before submission? It might be an unfair question, Mr. Bandi.
Sir,
I can't see who's that. Who's speaking?
Chair, it's Tabelo Mnguni. Mr. Bandi.
Sabuni?
Yes. So I'm sorry, man. I got disconnected.
Yes.
Mr. Bandi is not here.
He's not here.
Yes. I've been listening to the members. If the members permit me, I will rectify those minor errors and attend to the observations and recommendations. It's up to you, Chair.
Yeah. Okay, I see Mr. Bandi was connecting. Maybe he has left. Maybe he's just connected. Okay, I think members are worried that the quality of the report was given to them, or Mr. Bandi is experiencing connectivity challenges. Can I request members that you have made some submissions, and where, of course, you were disappointed, can we submit whatever you did not submit in writing? Like Honorable Ditebe said, he will submit other things in writing. Honorable Abada, if I'm not mistaken, said she wants certain things to be covered. In fact, all members, others raised what they want to be covered. You might have missed other things so that the report represents you. I will engage the House Chairperson so that we have a corrected report submitted again for members to adopt the report. Because if members are not, all members are not happy with the report, it's obvious that members will not adopt the report as it is. Of course, the content advisor is saying he has noted the concerns of members, their inputs. He will correct them and bring back the report in time for members to go through the report and be able to adopt it. Members received the report late. They could not have studied the report thoroughly. In their scanning of the report, they may have seen certain things, but they're not confident that they've seen everything. And normally, you know, as members of parliament, that when we get the report, we even get assistance from, we look at the report together as members of the committee and so on, so that we show that what is captured here, because what we send represents us, and whatever we send to Parliament, it becomes public information. So members are worried about the report that does not represent them. Can we go and work on that one? Sabelo, assisted by the acting secretary and because they were capturing, and the administrator. And Mr. Bandi was also in a meeting. I think what members recommended is that listen to the recordings of our meetings, including the recordings of this meeting, so that you are able to capture everything that is there. Is that how we move forward on the report, honorable members? Have I summarized it?
Chair.
Yes,
Agreed,
that's,
Chair.
that's okay with me.
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Chair.
I see the hand of Honorable Gamede. Is it an old hand, or you want to say something? Oh, it's an old hand.
No, Chair. I'm in agreement with what we have already said, but I just wanted to also make clarity to Mr. Sabel, which this is not a minor corrections as well. Document completely wrong nje. Please, with all due respect, bahambe bayo-correct and listen to all our audios like we have already said. It's not minor.
Okay. Okay. I think the Honorable Gamede is emphasizing that it's not minor corrections. It's a completely overhaul of the report. Listen to the recordings. Thanks very much, members. Just before what is the next item, Selina? Selina, what's the next item?
It's a closure, Chair.
Okay. Just before we close, just to report that we've submitted applications, as we announced the other day, that we have an invitation from the minister for the Cairo train. We have submitted an application. We're waiting for the response from the office of the House Chairperson. We've also submitted an application for our Gauteng meeting with MECs. We just advised that maybe we need to engage NCOP, Select Committee on Human Settlement, so that they can also gain from there. We're also waiting for approval. Like we announced at the beginning of our meeting that one of our member, Honorable Buthelezi, has passed on. Up to now, one does not have information with regard to BRRR, but once there's an announcement of the date of the funeral, we'll still submit an application for members to, Casey, do you have information?
Yes, Chair. I received correspondence now from the members' facility with regards to the funeral arrangements. The members' facility will be arranging it. So I needed to confirm from you, Chair, that what they are requesting is which members of the committee wants to attend the funeral, because they need to finalize the travel arrangements. I need to submit the names immediately today in like about half an hour.
When is the funeral?
The funeral will take place on Saturday, this Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
What members' facility is requesting is your guidance is and to advise them who is going to travel.
Okay. Can we say you communicate to individual members immediately after this meeting?
Okay, Chair.
Okay. Okay. And can we Can we also deal with the issue of minutes? I don't want us to have a lot of minutes piling without approval. Let's make sure that in the next meeting, we bring the minutes. And Sabelo, if you can work on the quality check of minutes so that we're able to deal with those minutes in the next meeting. Having said that, like Selina said, the next item is closure. Let me thank you, honorable members, for your time and engagements. And those who will be able to go to KZN for a funeral, we want to encourage you to communicate with KC so that we are able to do that. Maybe before, Honorable Mpiti.
Thank you, Chair. I might have missed this, but when will we reconvene for the report? And do we have any indication on when that's going to take place?
There is no indication. I wanted to engage Mr. Bandi because he has a problem with but I would prefer that the report be ready, if we still have time, at least by next week, so that we're able to engage with it. But I'll get advice from Mr. Bandi as to how much time do we still have to engage on the report and submit to Parliament. I'm not sure if you are comfortable with that. Okay. All right. Thanks very much. The meeting stand agenda. Those who are interested in going to the funeral, we are told it is on Saturday. Let's immediately engage with Mr. Naidu so that he's able to submit whatever is supposed to be submitted. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Good, Chair.
Chairperson.
Thanks, Chair.
Chair.